Hi there guys, and welcome to the final day of the month of Retrobrown. And today we've got a very special video for you, which is very different to what I normally do, because as you know, my channel pretty much is a solo run Pokemon channel. I'm trying to change it up a little bit, just because I fancied a little bit of a different challenge. Today we're actually going to do a monotype run in Kanto, just to see if a certain type of Pokemon, using only that type of Pokemon, can actually beat the game. We will be imposing level caps, we will be imposing, I can only use like that type of Pokemon. So it creates a lot of different team dynamics, a lot of different interesting strategies you can do. But first off, we need to choose what type we are going to go with for Gen 1. So as you can see here, we've got our wheel, we've got all the types included in Gen 1 on here. Let's give it a spin and let's see what we do for this video. And for the first monotype video, we're going to go with the rock type. Oh, you know what, this actually, this is going to be a hard one to start off with, really. Oh god. Okay, so, considering we don't actually start off with a rock type Pokemon, or none of the starters actually do have that rock type in, we're going to have to do something a little bit different here. What I'm going to do is what I usually do with my solo runs. I'm going to change one of the starter Pokemon for a rock type Pokemon. Which rock type Pokemon, you might wonder? Well, the first rock type Pokemon that's in the Pokedex is going to be what you'll see me pick up in a minute. Because first off, we're going to go and pick up our potion, and then start off on our adventure. We say bye to our mother, and we head off into the grass before Oak stops us here. This means that he's now going to go and take us into the lab, introduce us to our rival, who is going to be Wacko for today, and we'll choose our first Pokemon, which, of course, is going to be the rock type Pokemon. Might as well start off with one that looks like a rock, and that is Geodude. Now, there is something that you usually do on monotype videos, and that is you name every single Pokemon. This isn't going to be a Nuzlocke, because Gen 1 is very difficult with certain types, and there's not many Pokemon of those types in each generation. Especially in these early ones, especially Red and Blue, there's only a handful of, well, rock type Pokemon. So I am going to endeavour to only catch one of each type, but if I do need to to get past a certain point in the game, I will catch a temporary duplicate. You might not agree with that, but I feel like that's going to be the way we might need to go about it. I mean, especially when it comes to like the dragon types. I'm not sure Dratini will be able to beat Brock by the level cap, but we'll soon see. We are starting off with our Geodude and starting off on our adventure for today. I mean, this is probably going to be one of the longest videos I've ever done. It's pretty much near enough a feature-length film. But we'll see how this goes, and if the engagement on this video is pretty good, I might start making more of these and see if we can get through every single type in Gen 1 before moving on to other generations. So as you can see, Geodude needs to be... We've got a level cap of 14 going into Brock, meaning if I go over that level cap, I might as well start again. Now this is going to be very difficult with a Geodude, considering we only get the two moves, Tackle and Defense Curl. Not very good moves. I mean, we can kind of stall out Bide when you've got Defense Curl and raise our defense, but this is going to be very, very difficult. I mean, we finished Viridian Forest with level 11. I'm going to go see how we do against the rival first. We might as well get ourselves closer to that level cap. Brock is a very difficult trainer when you don't have the type advantage. So we can get a few more levels up and get some more experience by going against the rival to the west of Viridian. The worst thing about this fight, his Pidgey loves spamming Sand Attack. And we've only got two moves to deal damage, well, we've only got one move to deal damage with, and that's Tackle. Not the most accurate move, not the most powerful move, but we do manage to get through to the Bulbasaur with a decent amount of health. And this is where Bulbasaur starts to really, really annoy us. He started off by using Leech Seed, which means we are now against the clock, losing HP every single turn. We've been Sand Attacked to death. We are not going to do very, very well in this attempt, and we just keep missing. Leech Seed keeps draining our HP and recovering his. Yeah, we're going to lose this attempt. So I'm not even too sure if it's worth us going against the rival again here. I'm going to go straight back to Pewter City. Let's see how we do against the Light Years trainer. He starts off with his Diglett, and then he's got a Sandshrew. Now this is actually a good matchup for us in a way, because they only have normal type moves to attack us. and we have tackle, and well, we're a rock type, so we resist that. It's not going to do very much damage. As long as we can hit him and the Sandshrew stops using sand attack. Why do they always have to use sand attack? If we can get through all of those sand attacks, we can start chipping away at the Sandshrew. We can actually do some damage and win this fight quite comfortably. It does put us quite close to that level cap of 14, and that means that we've now only got really this attempt to try and beat Brock. So I'm going to see how we do against him here, and this is going to be a very elongated fight because we've got that back and forth with the tackles and the defense curls. So I have sped up the footage here so you can see. As you can see, our level 13 Geodude is doing pretty relatively good damage against him, but we're not really... we're losing PP very, very quickly. In Gen 1, their Pokemon, the opponent's Pokemon do not have PP limits on them. They can use Hyper Beam infinitely if they want to, and annoyingly what we have to do is try and stall out the bides with the Onix and use tackle as and when we can. We also run out of tackle PP, so that means we're now trying to get rid of all our defense curl PP to go into the struggle strats, which is really bad because we have now hit level 14. We are at that level cap, but I think it's going to be worth us taking the loss here and actually resetting to start again, because what I actually think is going to help us through here is getting those perfect EV Geodude. So once we've actually reset and come back to Brock after quite a few attempts, we've got a perfect EV Geodude. And that took a lot of attempts to reset and find. I have an EV calculator which helped me find this one. But yeah, we managed to get that perfect Geodude. As you can see, we're now doing a hell of a lot more damage even with their defense curls set up, and that is making the massive amount of difference. So when we need to, we're going to keep those defense curls when it comes to the Onix, but we're just going to tackle this Geodude into the ground. It takes us about 20 tackles to do this, mind, but this is what we have to do. It's the very start of Gen 1 and we don't have great moves to work with. We move it to level 14 and straight away he goes for bite, but because we've now got that perfect EV Geodude, look how much damage tackle did there. Geodude, Onix has got fantastic defenses, but with our increased attack, we've now got enough to take him out. Tackle is, it's taken us 3 tackles to get just past half HP, and about 4 or 5 more are just going to take him down. So it is possible to beat Brock with a level 14 Geodude. That's one thing I wasn't expecting at the start of this, and as you can see, our level cap, now we've beaten Brock, goes up to level 21, as that is the level cap of Starmie's Misty. With this, we can now move on to Cerulean, but before that, we've got a few little things we've got to try and do. We're going to have to go and get some potions, and it's still going to be a while before we even can get our next Pokemon. In Mount Moon, you can pick up the rare candies, and just dodge as many Zubats as you can. We don't want to get our levels up that high because we know that Misty is coming up next. We don't want to go over that level cap. So, in Mount Moon as well, we can also prepare for later in the run where we can actually pick up one of the items we need for our later Pokemon. This is going to be a very interesting choice, as you will soon see after we now beat the Super Nerd. So the Super Nerd, he has 3 Pokemon, mostly poison types and then a Voltorb. At level 18, we're not really going to be having too much of a problem here. We have picked up Rock Throw at level 16, and that means we've got another move to actually deal some good damage out when it comes to the rivals Pidgeotto and Pidgeot. We've got a super effective move to actually hit them with. I mean, Rock Throw in Gen 1 is a completely awful move, but what can we do? It's all we've really got to work with at this point. So, now we have beaten the Super Nerd, we make our first important choice of the run. We could choose either the Helix Fossil or the Dome Fossil, and considering Kabutops is faster, I think we're going to need that speed when it comes to the later fights in this run. So we're going to pick up the Dome Fossil for now, and it'll be a while before we actually get our Kabuto from that Dome Fossil. We also, this is where I start to think, yeah, Misty is going to be a real problem. I don't think it's actually possible for us to do this with just one Geodude. We might actually need to go and pick up a second just to get past this point in the game. Because to be fair, the next rock Pokemon we can actually pick up is going to be an Onix in Rock Tunnel, and we can't get to Rock Tunnel until after we've beaten Misty. And this is how bad our Geodude is going to be against Water-type Pokemon. So we've got no other moves we can really teach, but even Even going against this guy with a Horsey of all things, nowhere near as strong as a Staryu or a Starmie, Bubble does massive damage. It doesn't take us out in one, but yeah, that's how quickly we will lose against Water-type Pokemon. I'll even show you here how futile it is going against Misty with just one Geodude. We won't outspeed, our speed is really, really low, but even if they use X defense to start off with, one Water Gun is more than enough to take us out. So where can we go? Well, first off, we can go and beat the rival on Nugget Bridge. I think we can still do this as a level 19 Geodude, but we will soon see. He does have his, he'll have an Ivysaur at this point at the back end of his team. And we just gotta make sure we get past this Pidgeotto without taking too many sand attacks. As long as Rock Throw will hit, I mean, it's only got like 60... Has it got 60% accuracy? It's an awful move. Like, the only Rock-type move that's genuinely worth using in Gen 1 is Rock Slide, and even then, 75 base attack, 90% accuracy. Why they made Rock-type moves so bad in Gen 1 is beyond me, but we managed to beat the rival first time, and we can move through Nugget Bridge. Now I actually am going to backtrack a bit. I did reset here, so I can go back to Mount Moon and pick up a second Geodude. So this Geodude, I actually forgot right at the start that what I'm supposed to do on these mono-type runs is name every single Pokemon I catch, so we're going to change that here. We're going to name this Geodude, you know, what should we call him? You know, I feel like we've got a Rocky feeling going on, or at least those 80s action heroes, so, you know, let's go with Sylvester as our Geodude. And eventually when we come to Lavender Tower, I will rename the other Geodude that we have, but now we have 2 Geodudes in our arsenal, and we need to go and train him up a little bit before we can even attempt to go back against Misty. So, these rockets are not going to be too much of a problem whatsoever. We're already level 15. The worst thing about these Ekans though, if they outspeed you, they will spam Rap. It's really annoying, and these battles take ages, but this is part of Gen 1. Rap was broken in Gen 1, and they fixed it in Gen 2, thankfully. But if you remember back to like the VGC days or the competitive scene, one Pokemon really excelled with the Rap strategies, and that was Dragonite. Because of its bulk, Dragonite and using the Rap strategies just completely it annoyed the hell out of people back in the day. I remember watching like all those videos back in the day. People absolutely hated Dragonite Rap. And towards the back end of Nugget Bridge as well, we have another problem to contend with, and that is the Oddish Lass. The Pidgey is the easiest part of the team, but the way you get through this fight, you are going to have to switch between your Pokemon. Rock Throw or Mega Punch are going to be the best moves to use, but they're going to use that powerful Absorb, which is four times effective on rock and ground types. It's very annoying, but we do manage to get through with a bit of switching to our team. This brings us on to one of the first good moves that we can really pick up. We did pick up Mega Punch in Mount Moon, but it's not the greatest move. We want this move that we get from this rocket here, because he has stolen the TM28 dig from the guy in Cerulean. So we're going to get it back from him, and then we'll teach it to one of our Geodudes, because we do need this move. We really do need this move. There's no point us waiting until we get Earthquake as a TM, because Geodude can actually learn it quite early on. Once we've picked up Dig, we can move through to Vermilion, and we will come back to beat Misty at some point quite soon. But we are going to also pick up here a Bellsprout, because we need a Pokemon that can also learn Cut. That is another thing in Gen 1 games. You need HM Mules. Well, you'll probably need them all the way up until the most recent generations. So yeah, these Pokemon, these Bellsprouts, we can use them for TMs, but we cannot use them in battle. That is a bit of the rule we need to go ahead with. Moving on to the SSN, we can pick up another fantastic move which we need. Behind this this youngster trainer here, with the level 21 Nidoran, we can pick up the move Body Slam. If you've watched any of my Gen 1 videos where a Pokemon can learn this move, you know this move is one of my favourite. In Gen 1 it's a normal type move, 80 base power, 100% accuracy, with a chance to paralyse. What could be better than that? Seriously. It's a fantastic move. There's also the rare candy you can pick up on the SSN after you beat this gentleman. And this gentleman is a bit of a nightmare, but we are a rock type Pokemon, Rock is super effective against fire, so Rock Throw is a perfect counter to any of his fire types, and we do learn Self-Destruct. Now you might think, why would you use Self-Destruct? That's usually the question I asked when I'm doing a solo run, but we're not doing a solo run, we are doing a mono-type Rock run. Self-Destruct is actually going to be an interesting move we can use. So now we've picked up those moves, we are going to go head back over to Cerulean and head against Misty. I feel like with our level 21 Geodudes, we have got a chance to do some big damage here. What we're hoping for is not those bubble beams. We are hoping for that body slam to get that paralysis. Unfortunately, it doesn't here, and yeah, we have lost against Misty once again. So that means we need to try this one more time. I feel like if we can get that good RNG, we can now tank one water gun. We actually do have a chance to do this. If they go for the X-Defend, they do go for X-Defend, and we get the paralysis. So we've actually got a chance to win here. Oh my god, we nearly did it with just one Geodude. Okay, so we now outspeed. Mega Punch will finish the fight, and we have now beaten Misty, bringing our level cap all the way up to level 24, which of course is the level cap for Surge's Raichu. Before we can even do that though, we need to go and beat the rival on the SSN. I know we were right there, very close, but I do a lot of backtracking in these mono-type runs, because we're not trying to go for the best time here, we're trying to get the best team, we're trying to build the best strategies to get through the game. So timing is not one of my goals in this. With our two Geodudes though, we are tearing through his team. We have only used Sylvester, he takes a big Vine Whip and goes down, and we are in a bit of trouble. We need to hit this Dig, or we cannot win this fight. Dig does big damage, Leech Seed, we've been Leech Seeded, but he goes for another Leech Seed, and Mega Punch finishes off the fight. That was very lucky, and RNG played on our side, but now we can pick up the HM for cut, and we can go and pound Surge's Pokemon into the ground. Our two Geodudes are not going to be hit by very much from his Pokemon. One of the more annoying things as well, I hate the puzzle in Surge's gym. As you can see here, even though it says that it's supposed to be right next to the first switch, it never seems to be. It doesn't matter though, we'll save up, we'll go against Surge, and we'll see if we can obtain badge 3. So we're starting off with our Geodude, who I will rename as soon as we can get a Lavender. We can use Dig to take out the Voltorb, and yeah, Dig is going to be the move that gets us through this entire fight. We are not going to have a problem whatsoever. Thunder Wave can't even hit us, and his normal type attacks will do pitiful damage. Reason why we are not taking any attacks from like electric types, because we've got that sub-ground typing. Geodude's a rock and ground, so actually is a very good typing to use for this run. Ground is one of the more overpowered types in this generation, in my opinion. We've now beaten 3 gyms, we've got cut, we can actually progress on to Rock Tunnel. But before we even have Rock Tunnel, we have another grass trainer, which is going to give us some problems. This junior trainer here has 4 grass Pokemon, 2 Oddishers and 2 Bellsprouts. Yeah, and we're not very quick either. So what we need to do, we need to get those digs in, we need to outspeed, which we only just do at level 24. Thankfully grass types aren't very quick as well. That definitely plays into our favour. But these Bellsprouts are very weak to ground type moves, so we will take them down in 1, and we actually do not have a problem with this grass type trainer. So I am trying to switch between our Pokemon so we don't overlevel too quickly, but moving on to Rock Tunnel we can go and pick up our new teammate. It doesn't take us too long to find him, and we find our Onix. So we don't want to take him out, we want to make sure we get him on the team, so I'm going to try and get him paralysed, and that is perfect. We've got him on low HP, and we can now go through, catch him, and he doesn't want to stay in the ball. Get in the ball. That's free. Okay, when he finally does get in the ball, we can add him to the team, and we now have an Onix. We are going to name him when we get to Lavender, because I also clicked off it there and did not name him. That brings us through Rock Tunnel with some of the trainers we need to contend with. So, because Onix is at such a low level, right now he is just going to be a Screech setter. That way we can load defenses and make sure our Geodudes can come in and do bigger damage than normal, which is definitely going to help against those special attackers. So, it's annoying because Onix will need to get levels up, and we'll probably, you know what, let's backtrack and let's go and pick up another item we're going to need for later in this run. Once you've gone through Diglett Tunnel, you can get all the way back to Pewter City. And from Pewter City, you can go through to the museum, cut down this tree, and we can go and pick up the Old Amber, which of course will give us an Aerodactyl later in this run, the only Rock-type flying Pokemon in this generation. And it also leads us to some of the trainers we missed out, so we can level up Onix a little bit against the easier trainers. So, back in the Rock Tunnel, we have the Exploding Hiker. And I'm actually not worried about him for once in one of these videos, because even if he uses Self-Destruct, Onix's defense is so tanky that we will not take any damage from it. Look at that, Self-Destruct did 7 damage on us. And that brings us on to the second Geodude. I can't even believe I'm using Rage on this run as well, but it actually became very, very helpful in quite a few fights. That attack going up and them using physical attacks on us, yeah, Rage actually became useful. I never thought I would say this on one of my videos. Second Geodude goes down, and this final Graveler just decides he doesn't want to explode. But our attack is so high now that we're doing decent damage. He finally uses Self-Destruct and we tank it on 5 HP. That Onix has just tanked 3 Self-Destructs in the same fight. So that is very, very, very tanky. We then... I've ran into this Pokemaniac here. Slowpokes are going to be very annoying later in the run. Not one Pokemon we will pick up on this Monotype run can learn a Grass-type move or can learn an Electric-type move. So that brings us a real problem when it comes to the Water types. How are we going to get past them? That's what we need to figure out as we progress. But with using Body Slam, we don't really need to think about it. We can just Body Slam our way through and take them down. That brings us through finally. Oh, and Sylvester is going to evolve. We have our first Graveler of the run. Now, because I don't want to have duplicates on my team, eventually I am going to get rid of the first Geodude, who also evolved not too long after into a Graveler. But we are going to get rid of them as soon as we pick up new Pokemon. Before that though, we are going to go against the rival in Lavender Tower and see how we do. His Gyarados is going to be a threat. If we can take down this Pidgeotto in one, which we can't, finally, two Rock Throws will do it. Now, Gyarados is actually weak to Rock-type moves, but he is also very, very powerful. This leaves us a real problem. If we can paralyze him... No, we can't. He outspeeds us, and Hydro Pump is a one-shot. This is not good. Okay, let's try this again. Pretty much, our Onix will outspeed him. We need to make sure we hit that first Rock Throw, or we hit a Screech. We need to do something to do big damage against that Gyarados, otherwise we are not going to do very well. Gyarados comes out and Rock Throw does big damage, and it gives us a little bit of a window for the guys to come in and to punch him into the ground. If Hydro Pump had hit, we'd have probably lost that entire battle. That means that Graveler can then come in and sweep up the rest of the competition. Even when it comes to the final Ivysaur, level 28, we do outspeed this Ivysaur and we can take him down. That beats the rival in Lavender Tower, and we need to go and beat Erica next, otherwise our level cap can't increase. Until then though, we are going to go and change the nicknames of our Pokemon that we haven't named yet. So I'm going to name Onix Balboa, as in Rocky Balboa, you know, because he's a rocky snake. I think it's clever. Graveler, because we are going to get rid of this Graveler quite soon when we pick up another Rock-type Pokemon, I'm just going to call him Dave. Yeah, we're just going to call him Dave because we know we're going to get rid of him. And we can move on to Celadon City. Now, there's not really any good moves we can pick up here. We can pick up Rock Slide, but that's not really going to do much against Erica's grass types. And we really need to do some good damage, but unfortunately Razor Leaf is a one-shot on Balboa. Dave comes in, we manage to get a dig off, but it's still not enough to take him down. And Sleep Powder hits, and that is pretty much the fight. Yeah. Sylvester is not going to be able to do much against it. It gets put to sleep as well, and Razor Leaf is a one-shot, so we're going to have to think about this differently. Unless we get some really good luck, I don't think Erica is possible until we get another Pokemon. So I actually can miss out gyms if I really want to, but I have to keep that level cap. Now considering we're already at level 29, I didn't want to do that. So we had to wait for an attempt where Victory Bell missed all of its Razor Leafs, and then it gave us an opportunity to sweep through the rest of her team. So Dave really pulled his weight here because he knows he's heading out soon. He wanted to go out with a big bang. Mega Punch takes out the Tangela, and that brings us on to the Vileplume, which I'm going to switch into Balboa for. If I can get a few Screeches off here, that greatly decreases his defense. We can get one off, so his defense is reduced by 2. That means Dig can now do bigger damage, and Dave can take the win at level 30, just before the level cap increases. And it's a big increase, this one. We go all the way up to level cap 43, because the next 2 gym leaders, Koga and Sabrina, their aces are both at level 43. In the department store, we can go and get Rock Slide, and we have to chase this girl around for a little bit because she decides she just doesn't want to sit still. And we are going to pick up Ice Beam because if we can put that onto our Kabutops, we've got a bit more move coverage that we weren't expecting. We can use the Soda Pop to get us a Rock Slide TM. And I'm not too sure who to put this on yet. I might wait until I've got another Pokemon before equipping this. But we can also pick up TM10, which is Double Edge, and then move against Giovanni. Once we've done the Rocket side quest, we can open up the game and we can go and get our next teammates. To start off this fight against Giovanni, he's going to throw an Onix at us, so we're going to do exactly the same. Balboa comes out and we're going to screech down this Onix. He uses his guard spec, which means that we can't decrease any of his stats now. So we're going to use Rage and just chip away at him. Because at this, he's going to increase our attack while we are using Rage. It's not going to be the greatest move when it comes to the Rhyhorn, but when it comes through that Kangaskhan, if we've tanked enough hits, we should be doing decent damage to take out the Kangaskhan, as well as the Rhyhorn that's coming out next. He always does seem to use his guard specs very randomly, but we don't need it this time. Rage is doing okay damage, it's just taken a long time to take him out. But Rage did actually become useful. It's so strange that Rage actually became a useful move. When it comes through the Kangaskhan, we're actually not doing very much damage at all, but to be fair, Onix doesn't have great attack. In fact, Caterpie has more attack-based stats than an Onix does. Yeah, you guys work that out. Or, you could just go watch my Onix video because you guys seem to have liked that. Out of every video I've ever released, my Onix solo run was the highest viewed video I've ever done. We can now go and open up Saffron now we've beaten Giovanni. And this brings us on to Lavender Tower, which of course has all the ghost type Pokemon. We have kept Dave up until this point because we still can't go and get another Pokemon until we've got that Poké Flute. So until we've got that Poké Flute, we will keep Dave on the team. We can pick up an Elixir, beat up the Rockets, and then we can move through because I'm going to go straight over to Fuchsia City next. This Rocket is not a problem whatsoever, but it does manage to poison us, which is kind of annoying. But thankfully, Sylvester pulls his weight, body slams his way through, and we can go and get the Poké Flute from Mr. Fuji. It always annoys me that he seems so nonchalant that we've actually come all this way and tried to save him. He doesn't seem very thankful at all, even though he gives us a Poké Flute. And we can move through to beat up a Snorlax and find our way to Fuchsia City. So, we're still quite low leveled in my opinion. The next level cap is going to be level 43, but we're already in like the very early 30s, late 20s. Not the greatest level to be doing this at, but to be fair, when you've got a full team of 6, the difference between a solo run and a monotype run where you can have a full team. Oh yeah, we did the bike glitch and we got ourselves a free bike. If you don't pick up the bike voucher, if you just keep trying to push your way through these guards, they eventually do just let you through. And we're going to go straight to the Safari Zone because we want our next teammate. We're going to get rid of Dave and we can go and pick up our new teammate. Who is it, you might ask? Well, in the Safari Zone, you can go and pick up a Rhyhorn. It doesn't take us too long to find one either. We throw one ball and he gets straight into the ball because he wants to join the team. So Rhyhorn is going to join the team, and you know what? We're going to keep on with the 80s action heroes. So we're going to call this guy, let's call him Van Damme, as in, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I have no idea how to actually spell Van Damme, so we're just going to spell it phonetically. Brings us on to picking up the TM for Surf, which is perfect because we want that for when we get our Kabuto. It's a water rock type Pokemon and gives us some great type variation. We can go and get the gold teeth and pick up the HMO for Strength. Strength will actually be a move we will use on our team. So I'm going to teach this to Balboa because we don't really have great attacking moves for him. And we might as well put a normal type move that's got 80 base attack. Can use that massive body to him, and we can pick up a rare candy. And while we're here, you know what, let's give Koga a go. We might as well. I mean, against the poison types, we should have a decent matchup when we've got a few ground type moves. And poison is not very strong against rock type Pokemon. So we're going to go into this fight using Van Damme. He is only level 25 and Horn Attack is not doing very much damage. We get poison straight away. And to be fair, we are outpacing this Coffin even though we're 12 levels below. We are poison and majority of the damage is coming from that poison. We managed to take down the first Coffin and that brings us on to the Muck. I'm going to keep Van Damme in because I want that safe switch. And we'll do some big damage with Rock Slide. Now we're at 3 HP. I can keep a little bit of experience when we beat the next Pokemon. Muck comes out and we can screech it down and take it down 6 points of defense. That means Strength is going to do decent damage, but because we've got very low attack on an Onix, we're gonna have to use Screech on all of the Pokemon to actually give us a chance to do some decent damage. So when we can finally take down the Coffin, this brings us to the final Pokemon, which is Weezing. And we've got plenty of Pokemon in reserve, so if he decides to use Self-Destruct, it's not a problem. We have won the fight because we still have Pokemon in our team, which is such a breath of fresh air considering when I do solo runs and I get self-destructed. It really annoys me. We are going to backtrack a lot right now because instead of going all the way to Sabrina, I'm actually going to go and pick up a Poliwag from this pond here to the west of Viridian. Reason why I'm getting this Poliwag is low level and we can teach it Surf, which means it's going to be able to get us over to Cinnabar where we can pick up our next 2 team members. Which is perfect because we're going to need that type variation going into the next fights. So once we can teach Surf to Poliwag, again it's just a HM Mule for this run. As soon as we've got the type diversity and the other Pokemon that we need, just get back in the water. Once we've picked up these new 2 Pokemon, we can teach Fly and Surf to them. So before we even do that, let's throw Dave into the box because we're not going to need him anymore. We'll throw the Bellsprout in there as well because we don't need Cut anymore. Let's throw the Poliwag and the Pidgey in there as well. So, we're going to withdraw our Dome Fossil. And we'll also withdraw the Old Amber because these are the 2 items we need to get ourselves a Kabutops and an Aerodactyl. And this is where the run starts getting really, really fun. When you talk to them, you talk to these guys in the far room. It's this guy running around up top. Give him the Dome Fossil. And we can pick ourselves up our Kabuto, who, you know what, we're going to call... I know it's not from the 80s, but I'm struggling to think of action heroes, so... How about we call this guy... let's call him Statham, as in Jason Statham. Because he's a bit more agile than some of the action heroes. So yeah, let's call him Statham. And we're going to have a think about what we're going to call this Aerodactyl as well. So... I'm a big fan of like the 80s films, the 80s action films. It gives you it's pretty some of the best actors in all time in my opinion. So I'm gonna name Aerodactyl. What should we call him? I've got a few that I want to call him. Let's call him. Oh, it starts with an A. Let's go for Arnold, as in Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh come on, I wasn't going to do that sort of like rock type Pokemon without mentioning Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, I could have called him Dwayne as for the Dwayne Rock Johnson. Enough talking. Let's go against Blaine. Blaine's gym is a perfect place for our team to train up because we are very low leveled. Now you might be wondering, why am I going here before going over to Sabrina where we can increase the level cap? Well, it's for that one reason, because we've got super effective typing against his teams. So we can get up a lot of levels just from the trainers in his gym. And we can go from being those early level 30 Pokemon into the mid-late 30s. Just from the amount of experience that we get. There's also all the trainers in the mansion we can go against. But we are going to do big damage against most of these Pokemon. It's going to be very easy experience. So let's bring us on to Blaine. Now Blaine, it's going to be weird because he's got level 47 Arcanine as his ace. We've got very early level 30 Pokemon. So what we're going to do is Screech on... We're going to use Screech and Rock Throw with Balboa. That gives us a 6-time... oh no, Fire Spin. I hate Fire Spin. Okay, we managed to take out the first two Pokemon without level 33 Balboa. We can learn Slam now, so we are going to get rid of Rage. And this brings us on to the Rapidash. Now I think we're going to lose against this Rapidash, so I'm just going to try and get as many Screeches off as possible. That then brings Arnold into the play. Now Arnold doesn't have any super effective moves at this point against any of the fire types, but he's very fast and he has agility to also do some big damage. Wing attack as well, it's not the greatest move, but at least it gives us a bit of chip damage. We can then bring out Stayfum, and with one Surf, we can take... oh, no, it's going to be two Surfs. We take down a Pokemon 15 levels above us with this team. Blaine, I think you need to go back to the drawing board. Now, one thing I didn't pick up earlier was HMO2, which is Fly. Considering Aerodactyl is a rock flying type, we actually get a very powerful stab flying type move to use here. So let's go train up a little bit more against the Fighting Dojo. All fighting type Pokemon, so it's a perfect place for Arnold to go and get some experience. Why Wing Attack is only a 35 base power move in Gen 1 is beyond me as well. But it's the reason why we wanted Fly in our moveset, because we wanted that stab flying type. So, these are going to be very, very easy. We can get a considerable amount of levels just in the dojo. And the Karate Master decides he wants to test our metal. So, we're going to start off with Sylvester this time, and we're just going to go for the Body Slam. Rolling Kick does massive damage, and he goes for an X attack, which means Sylvester can still take the win. Comet Punch doesn't do much damage at all, but it's still enough to take Sylvester down. That brings Vandam out into the fold, and because we are so low leveled right now, Stomp is not doing very much. It's doing about as much as Horn Attack would, but because of our bulk, Vandam can take the win. Now in Silphco we can pick up some fantastic moves. We can pick up Earthquake, which we're going to teach immediately, because we need that, and we're going to use the Carbos on some of our Pokemon. So we definitely need Earthquake on our moveset, and we can see how we do against the rival. Now we still are quite low leveled, but we've got a full team of Pokemon here. It's going to be... we're around about that mid-30 range right now, and one of the best things about starting with Rock-type Pokemon, this Pidgeot has got nothing to answer us with. I mean, we can utilise the Badge Boost glitch against the Pidgeot, and then straight away he brings out his Gyarados. Not great, so we're going to use Balboa to Screech him down. He's down 4 points of defence right now. Now we need a strong Pokemon to come out. Can we tank a Hydro Pump? We can't. Okay, so we're down to 2 Pokemon left. We've got the Water type in, but it's still not enough, and that Gyarados is destroying my team. Okay, so Arnold does outspeed, and Fly can take him out in 1. Meaning, a Fly can also take out the Growlithe. And we outspeed the Alakazam. Okay, so we've taken some damage from Confusion there. Level 36, and Venusaur is weak to Fire type moves and Flying type moves. So we're going to use that, and Arnold sweeps through the team. What a chad that guy is. He has just decimated the rivals team when the rest of them just couldn't match up whatsoever. This is why we wanted Aerodactyl. It's a very, very quick Pokemon. Brings us on to Giovanni and Silphco, and we're not too far away from opening this game up a lot more. We're going to start with Balboa. This seemed to be my strategy quite a lot. You start with a Balboa, you Screech and get the defences down. You then strengthen, take out as many as you can until Balboa falls. I mean, very, very apt from his movie appearances as well. He just keeps taking hits and whittles them down until they fall themselves. Kangaskhan this time is not very lucky against Balboa. We take the win, and Rhyhorn is out next. So we're going to get Screeches up and get that defense as low as we can. I realised that he'd used a guard spec there, so we need to stop using that. And we're not really going to do too much damage against him, so we need to switch. So, Rhyhorn against Rhyhorn here. We've got Earthquake on our moveset, and it's perfect to take him down. Van Damme just starts tearing through the team with Earthquake and takes the win. We don't lose a single Pokemon there. That brings us on to Sabrina. Now, this I am scared for. She's got powerful Psychic types, and all of our Pokemon are very, very weak to special attacks. So yeah, this is going to be a scary one. We're going to have to think about who we start off with, and to be fair, considering how quick her Pokemon are, it might be worth us starting with Arnold, but you know, we'll see how we do on this first attempt. So, Kadabra is up first, and we're going to go into it with Balboa. Let's go with the same strategy, but it's not going to work this time. Van Damme as well, not quick enough and not tanky enough to really do anything against this Kadabra. We're 2 Pokemon down, we haven't even done one single point of damage to them. Finally a Scratch gets through, but it's not enough, and we have to rely on Arnold here. We're down on 11 HP here, and now it's Mr. Mime's turn to come out. He just decides to go for Light Screen and Barrier, which means we can get through to the Venomoth without taking much damage from him. 2 Fire Blasts can take down the Venomoth, and that brings us to the Alakazam. Psywave takes us down, and Sylvester is left. We can't even tank a Psybeam, and we lose the fight. So we need to really think about this. We are going to start again with Sylvester. This time we do tank 1 hit, but it's still not enough, and we miss, and he takes us down. We're going to bring Arnold straight in this time, and he gets a critical Wing Attack off straight away. So now Wing Attack is not doing very much against the Mr. Mime. We are taking a bit of damage. Fly is enough to take him down, and we're just going to go for Fly against the Venomoth as well. It's a critical hit. That leads us into the Alakazam. We outspeed, and a critical Fly gives us the win. Arnold sweeps another gym leader. Wow. That brings our level cap up to level 50, and we've only got 1 gym leader left. We need to head back over to Viridian City, and from here we can take on Giovanni one last time. We've got a few trainers in here we've actually got a good matchup against with our types. Using Earthquake, sweep through most of the rock ground types, and we can bring ourselves through to Giovanni. I don't even think one of my Pokemon is all level 40 right now, and we're going against someone who's got level 50 on his team. We're going to start off with Statham and see how well we do with Surf. It only gets us through to the Doug Trio, and that brings us on to Arnold trying to take the win once more. Going to badge boost a little bit there with Agility, and we should have decent bulk now to take through for more things, but I want to get more experience on my other Pokemon, so I'm going to switch through to Balboa, Screech the Nidoqueen down, and it's still not doing very much, so it's going to be enough to take him down, but we do get poisoned in the meantime. Nidoking is out next, and we're going to Screech it again. So, Slam is not doing very much. He's using Thrash. We are going to lose Balboa at this point, but we might as well do a little bit of chip damage. That brings us through to using Van Damme, who has got Earthquake, and it's a one-shot from there. Now we've got Rhyhorn versus Rhydon, and unfortunately, Fissure hits because we are slower than that Rhydon. Very annoying, but because Sylvester is quicker than this Rhydon, few Earthquakes can give us the win. And that is all 8 gym badges. We have beaten all 8 gym badges with just Rock-type Pokemon. But that's not the end of the run. We still have the Elite Four to contend with, and before the Elite Four, we have the rival to the west of Viridian one more time. We are still not even level 40 at this point, and we are taking on Pokemon in the high level 40s and the early level 50s. I'm not sure where we are going to be able to do this, but we tear through the first 2 Pokemon, no problem whatsoever. Hydro Pump misses, and we get a big Rock Slide in on Gyarados before it takes Van Damme down. We are through to the Gyarados, and unfortunately Fly is just not enough to take him out, so we're going to hope that Statham can give us a clutch win here. Unfortunately it's not. Hydro Pump does big damage, and I think this is the fight done. Unless Hydro Pump misses, we have not got a chance of getting past that Gyarados. And unfortunately it does hit every single time this time. So we're going to go and train for a little bit because we do need those levels. And well, in this fight here, as you'll see, even though we get taken down by a poison, we level up Statham enough that he is now at the level cap to evolve. Unfortunately, he does die in this fight, but that also does mean that he still gets those levels and we can now add Kabutops to the team. A few fights later as well, we are going to level up our Rhyhorn to our Rhydon, and then we have our full complete team. You might be wondering, why have I not gotten traded my Graveler so I can have a Golem? I have actually got no way of trading Pokemon in these runs. So that actually means that I can't... For Pokemon that require trade evolutions, that is not something that's going to be possible to us. So unfortunately, Sylvester will stay as a Graveler for the entirety of this run. So now we come through to the rival again. What I'm actually trying to do is badge boost here so we get our speed as high as possible and our special as high as possible. That means that when it comes through to that Gyarados, we've actually got a chance to do some damage. Unfortunately, we level up. I was not paying attention to that. But he misses Hydro Pump twice, and we managed to get a couple of Rock Throws in before Sylvester falls. That brings us on to Arnold, and because the Gyarados is weak, one bite is more than enough to take him down. We're only level 40 looking at this fight, but most of our Pokemon, we can badge boost agility to make sure that our flies will do a lot more damage. We will also outspeed the Alakazam and nearly take it out in one, which is very annoying, but two flies take him down, and that brings us to the Venusaur. One fly is still not enough, and Razor Leaf nearly takes us out. But once again, Arnold has swept another team. Crazy. Absolutely crazy that we are only these levels and we are getting through to the Elite Four. We go against this trainer here because she has a Parasect, a Dugong and a Chansey, and that is perfect for leveling up your Pokemon because we want that experience. It's going to be very annoying though, especially when it comes to that Dugong. It gives you that first taste of what we've got to expect with Lorelei. It's very annoying, and we need to make sure we outspeed our Pokemon. Sylvester can't do it in this one, but this is why we got Statham on the team. It's a lot faster, and it does massive damage with Slash. This is where Statham starts coming into his own, and you know what? We're actually going to go against Moltres and see how we do. Van Damme, level 41 here, just one more level and we can get him up to a Rhydon. Rock Slide does tons of damage, and we take down Moltres. In the very next fight as well, level 42, we can now level up Van Damme to his final form of Rhydon. So, now we've got our full team set, we have got everything we need. Can we beat the Elite Four with just a rock type team? Let's see how we do. First up, of course, is the biggest threat that we have to contend with, and that is Lorelei. And this is why we've chosen Statham as our lead. Because of that water typing, we can resist ice type moves that come through. We have actually taught Explosion to Sylvester, but unfortunately Clamp is just so powerful that it doesn't give us a chance to attack. The worst thing about this Cloyster is how bulky it is in defense. We need to figure out a way past it, but unfortunately Clamp is just too powerful. Balboa is a physical attacker, and yeah, we're just getting swept by this Cloyster. So I actually opt for Fire Blast on Arnold. This now brings out the Slowbro, who will use Withdraw and Water Gun. What we're going to do here is use Agility to get our badge boosting up. Hopefully with that it gives us enough bulk to actually take him out. Annoyingly though, we go a lot back and forth because Slowbro used Amnesia, and we lose all of our Fire Blast, which would have been perfect for the Jinx coming up. We are going to have to use Fly here, but we do miss and an Ice Punch takes us out. That brings us through to Van Damme, and we are not going to outspeed it, and we are quad weak to Ice. I think we're quad weak to Ice, or it's just the fact that our special is so bad that it did that much damage. We try one more time. Perfect scenario to start off with. Statham puts Dugong into rest range, which means that we can just spam our Harden and get badge boost up so that Slash will start doing more and more damage. Once once we actually get the luck on our side, we've now got perfect time to use Surf and do bigger damage against this Cloyster. Because of the badge boost glitch, special attacks are not doing very much on Statham. We can use Slash against the Slowbro, because with it being a critical hit, it ignores any stat increases, which means it means any of theirs that they increase as well. Jinx goes down in 1, and that brings us just through to the Lapras, and if we get hit by a Hydro Pump, we might not have a chance to win. We've managed to power through and take the win with just Statham on his own. What an attempt from Statham there. Absolute Chad getting his way through. And you know what? I'm so impressed, we're just going to let him go through Bruno's team. Level cap is now going up to level 58 because of the Machamp. We're going to switch in Arnold just for a little bit of variation. And we're going to use Agility, get our speed up. And use Fly against the fighting type Pokemon. This is why I wanted Aerodactyl, it's purely just for Bruno. It's the only reason I wanted to bring him along. So once we've gone into the Onix, we're going to switch through to Van Damme, see if we can get a bit more experience on other members of our team. And Machamp is out last. We're going to go for a Earthquake and 2 take down the Machamp. We take the first time win against Bruno, and that leads us on to Agatha. Now Agatha can be very scary. Very powerful special attacker, very quick Pokemon as well. Basically what we want is for Van Damme to just hit its Earthquakes and hit its... We want to hit our Rock Slides against the Pokemon that matters. Rock Slide also takes out the Horns in 1. We managed to hit ourselves, and yes, they used Haze there. If you're confused and Haze gets used, it removes confusion. It's brilliant sometimes, it really comes in clutch. And here what we find, Van Damme actually sweeps through her entire team. That's 2 Elite Four members, first time victories with only using 1 Pokemon. Perfect scenario to be in, but now we have a very big challenge. Lance's Gyarados. It outspeeds everything I've got, and it one-shots everything I have with Hydro Pump. This is not a great scenario to be in, and yeah, we are not going to be able to do much against him unless Hydro Pump keeps missing, which it doesn't. We're down to 3 Pokemon and he's still got 5. Rockthrow does. We do outspeed him with our Onix there. That is very surprising. And we can start using Harden because they are a physical attacking team. Annoyingly, they do have Dragon Rage, which always does 40 damage. And we don't have much HP with an Onix. Strength managed to take out the Dragonair in 1. Takes out the second... doesn't do take the second out. Okay, we've got 2 Pokemon left. And they've got quite a few. So I'm going to go for Body Slam, that'll take out the second Dragonair, we're down to the Aerodactyl. Annoyingly, we don't have Rock Slide here on Sylvester. If we had him Sylvester with Rock Slide, we'd probably take out this Aerodactyl in 1. We need to just use Body Slam, take down as much HP as we can, and that leads us through just to Arnold. Now Arnold can use Fire Blast to take out the Aerodactyl, and that brings us through to Dragonite. If we can get our agility set up, we can tank a few normal type moves coming in. We just want to be able to do as much damage as possible, and we get a burn with Fire Blast. That is brutally key to our win here, as we just start taking down his HP little by little. He keeps missing his attacks and keeps going for agility. We get the critical hit and we get a first time victory against Lance. That was so clutch, that burn. And that brings us on to the final trainer, the champion Wacko and his very varied team. We've been talking for a hell of a long time here. This is the longest video I've ever done on this channel, and my voice is starting to hurt. Balboa is up first, and we are setting up with our Hardens, and we're going to set up our Screechers as well. Rock Throw does massive damage, and we are through to the Alakazam, who goes down. He takes Balboa out with a powerful Psychic. This is why we wanted Arnold, because of his speed, and we can also learn the move Hyper Beam over the move Bite. Perfect time to have learnt Hyper Beam. We can move into Statham to take through the Rhydon. We are going to set up our Hardens here and give ourselves a bit of a badge boost glitch. Once we have set that up, our special should be through the roof. He will not do very much damage with Fury Attack. There is not much this Rhydon can do against us. It's just a matter of time till we feel like we are set up enough to then sweep from here. So, now we can't harden anymore, it's time to surf. Rhydon goes down, Gyarados is out, and we're going to go for another surf as well. It takes out the Gyarados in one. Surf then sweeps through the Arcanine, and that leaves us with just the Venusaur. But we leveled up right at the end there. We get a freeze with Blizzard, and you know what? I'm going to do something very special here. Sylvester was one of our first Pokemon. There's nothing this Venusaur can do. Let's end this with a Fiery Explosion. And there we go. I've beaten Pokémon Blue with a mono-type rock team. That took ages to put together. And I think this is a fitting end to the fitting end to the month of Retrobrown. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this month. It has been a massive mammoth task to get all these videos put together, to release one every single day, edited, cut, everything. It's taken a massive amount of time and effort, and I really hope you guys have appreciated it or enjoyed the content that I've put out. Hopefully in the new year I'm going to try and do at least one mono-type rock run a month alongside all of my solo videos, and yeah, I've enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching the video. If you got to this point, you can watch the credits roll, or you can do the next thing, which is watch what we're going to pull up on the next mono-type video. We have got 14 other types that we can do runs with in Gen 1. Let me know in the comments which mono-type run you are hoping will come up on the wheel next. But let's spin and see what comes up for the next video. So, Rock type was a really, really tedious one to start off with. I'm really hoping Dragon or Bug doesn't come out. Grass types. You know what? Considering we start off with Bulbasaur, this might be a good run. There's a lot of grass types in Gen 1. We could do pretty well. If you've got to this point in the video, please like and subscribe, you legends. And we will see you in the new year. Thank you everyone who has watched. See you next year. Bye.